Welcome back to We Talk Boxing, and today I will be discussing Manny Pacquiao and him potentially contemplating a return to the ring in the near future against a championship caliber opponent. So, if you haven't already done so by now, please subscribe and also like and comment as well for more boxing related content. So, first of all I have to say, Manny Pacquiao, he is literally one of my favourite ever boxers ever. And there's a handful of fighters that I remember staying up late to watch him box. Now, for Manny Pacquiao, you know what I mean? He's a true boxing legend. Do you know what I mean? And he's fought everyone in his 72 bout career. You know what I mean? There's not one person that I could kind of think that he's kind of ducked, really. But to be honest, some of my fondest memories of Manny Pacquiao is when, you know what I mean, he fought against people such as like Ricky Hatton. You know what I mean? Who Hatton, again, is one of my favourite ever fighters as well. He fought against De La Hoya, Margarito, Cotto, do you know what I mean? And of course, Manny Mayweather, again, another one of my favourite ever boxers as well. You know what I mean? Now, you know what I mean? Like, hearing that potentially Manny Pacquiao, at the age of 43, is potentially considering, you know what I mean, a legitimate fight, you know what I mean, against a championship level, like, opponent is something that, you know what I mean, how could I say, you know what I mean? I wouldn't, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's quite hard, to be fair, because it isn't something that I'd like to see. Because, you know what I mean, sometimes when you look at boxing legends, you know what I mean, who have had a brilliant career, they've, you know what I mean, won loads of titles, and you know what I mean, they've got a good record, etc. Sometimes these guys, you know what I mean, could just fight on too long. Do you know what I mean? And end up potentially, you know what I mean, fighting really late in, you know what I mean, in their age, and end up losing against fighters that they would never ever have lost against in their prime. Do you know what I mean? Or sometimes potentially, you know what I mean, these older fighters, when they do make a comeback, they might seriously get hurt. Do you know what I mean? And for what, really? Do you know what I mean? Because when you look at it, the chance of them potentially, you know what I mean, becoming a world champion again against the younger, the more elite, you know what I mean, and match sharp and fit fighters, younger fighters, and that is going to be quite slim. So the question I ask is why? Now, you know what I mean, there has been some talk, you know what I mean, that, you know what I mean, Manny Pacquiao will, you know what I mean, later this year have a few exhibition fights as well. You know what I mean, and this is something which I kind of like because it's an exhibition fight. You know what I mean, the chance of him getting seriously hurt is a lot less. Do you know what I mean? Because these guys are pretty much just going in there to, you know what I mean, just to, you know what I mean, to make a little bit of money, but, you know what I mean, just to give fans a little bit of entertainment. So they're not really going out all guns blazing, trying to hurt or to try and, you know what I mean, stop the other opponent. You know what I mean? They're just putting their skills on show, really. But, you know what I mean, like, the opponent that has been said for Pacquiao, you know what I mean, is pretty much a career martial artist, really, and he's also a YouTuber. I can't remember his name, but you know what I mean, like, this fight potentially has been said for, you know what I mean, has been marked down for December later this year. And when you look at it, do you know what I mean, like, this would be pretty much just over a year, you know what I mean, about 13 to 14 months since Pacquiao last fought. And bearing in mind, obviously, his last fight as well was against Ugas, you know what I mean? At the time, in my eyes, was quite relatively unknown, but obviously since that win over Pacquiao, you know what I mean, Ugas has gone on to do some decent things, and obviously he got stopped recently, you know what I mean, against Spence, do you know what I mean? But that Spence. Do you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean, it's been quite some time now, you know what I mean, since Pacquiao has been in the ring. And during that time, obviously he's got his commitments as well with his politician stuff, you know what I mean, and obviously he's a family man, and he's up and down the country travelling all the time, and you know what I mean. So, you know what I mean, within that year and whatever months, you know what I mean, 13, 14 months, has Pacquiao been training? Has he been keeping himself fit? Do you know what I mean? Because these are the things you know what I mean, that an older fighter, you know what I mean, it takes time for them to grasp. Like, an older fighter, an elite fighter, someone like, obviously, Pacquiao, will never really lose their punch, you know what I mean, or their technique and stuff like that. It's the sharpness, it's the speed, it's the timing. They're the things that always go first, you know what I mean, for an aging fighter. Do you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It's quite interesting. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm down for him, you know what I mean, having quite a few exhibition fights, and there's some good potential fights out there in the exhibition world. You know what I mean? Like, again, you know what I mean. He could be calling out again Hatton. You know what I mean? Barrera. You know what I mean? Obviously Floyd Mayweather as well, who's having quite a few exhibition fights as well. I'd love to see that. I'd pay for that. Do you know what I mean? Like, we got the Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather fight the first time, obviously, when, you know what I mean, both guys weren't really in their peak, and obviously you got to give hats off to Mayweather there, because obviously he cherry picked Pacquiao, you know what I mean, when Pacquiao was kind of on the decline, you know what I mean, so he kind of cherry picked him and he got the victory over him, fair play. But I mean, when these guys should have fought, I think it was probably about 2007, 2008. That's when they should have fought. You know what I mean? So for these guys now potentially being retired and stuff like that and having an exhibition, like I said, I'll pay for that all day. Do you know what I mean? I've got time for these guys. I've like these guys are, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, are true legends, and you know what I mean, in their career, you know what I mean, I looked up to them. Do you know what I mean? That's what got me into boxing and stuff like that, really. But anyway, you know what I mean, this is just a short video just to kind of let you know that Manny Pacquiao is contemplating a return to the ring. Obviously, he's scheduled to potentially having a few exhibitions later this year. And, you know what I mean, again, depending on how that goes, you know what I mean, he may even contemplate fighting against, you know what I mean, a championship level fighter. But you guys, let me know what you guys think about this. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, Manny Pacquiao, you know what I mean. He's got a son as well. He's got a 20-year-old son who's taken up boxing as well. His name, ironically, is Manny Pacquiao Jr. Do you know what I mean? So it's currently in the early stages. Obviously, he's still in the amateur stages at the minute. You know what I mean? He's had, I think, just one or two amateur fights. And he's obviously training with Freddie Roach as well, so he's got a good coach in his corner. And obviously, his dad is a championship, you know what I mean, true legend. So he's got that experience as well. But, you know what I mean, I think Pacquiao, you know what I mean, he should just have these exhibition fights and concentrate on his son, try and, you know what I mean, build his son up, you know what I mean, to try and see how he could handle his career. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think about this. As always, please subscribe, like, comment, and share for more boxing related content. Bless.